I just learned some jazz today, it's true. He just learned some jazz today, and you gon' learn some jazz today, yes you.
Hey guys, I'm Vince, one half of Irie Lemon. I'm an entrepreneur, restaurateur. I'm 24 years old. I love winning, I love business, and I love tapping into potential.
What's up, everybody? My name is Liz, and I am one half of Irie Lemon. I'm a 40-year-old food blogger, mother of two, entrepreneur in West Michigan, and I'm super passionate about empowering others to live healthier, happier, and more successful lives.
Better them try to go and see.
What's up, guys? It's Vince from the Irie Lemon podcast. Make sure you subscribe, and subscribe, baby.
Touch the brakes and go slow, oh no.
Irie Lemon was born between Irie Kitchen and the Lemon Bowl. That's where the name came from. I was very pushy when I met Liz about starting a business, a podcast. I felt that Liz and myself had value to give to people, and so that's where it spawned. And now we're a full-fledged media company. We do food videos. We talk about business. We interview cool people, and we're just taking our inch, and we're just growing this business together. And so, that's Irie Lemon.
So something about me and how I make decisions in business is I take time to think about it. So I weigh out the pros and cons. I evaluate the risk. You know, I'm a food blogger, so it's a pretty low risk, high profit business, and that's on purpose. I don't, launch a bunch of businesses on a whim. I don't jump off cliffs all the time. I would say I'm a low risk taking entrepreneur, which has worked out well for me, but I really trusted Vince and I respect Vince because we approach business super differently. And I think it's really important to have people in your circle that do things different than you so that you can grow. And Vince kind of pushes me to jump off that ledge. I'm grateful for it.
So a few things I saw in Liz was somebody that shared similar DNA to me in the sense of taking their inch. And taking their inch for me is just doing what you want, going after your dreams in life. And I like that talent. And also she's grown a business out inside of her home for the last 10 years. And so learning how she did that and me just being naturally curious is what drew me into Liz as a person and what she was all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's good to remember as well that as a food blogger, I'm used to sharing healthy recipes, but Vince really reminded me that I have more to share than recipes. And, like Vince famously said, you can Google recipes, Liz, like what else do you have in there? What else do you have to share that can help others? And here we are, Enneagram 2. Oh, I can help more people. I can help beyond recipes, beyond cooking. And so I felt like the podcast was the best way to help the most amount of people in the most efficient, effective, cost-effective, it's free way, which is what also really appealed to me about the podcast. I have another fun story to share about Vince and I. Can I share it?
Go ahead.
So Vince, when we first started hanging out, was someone that I honestly overnight felt like I could be my full, true, authentic self around. And obviously I would say we're always talking in the business sense. Now, obviously now we're really close friends, but in the very beginning, I didn't feel like I had to downplay my ambition. And I don't know if it's because I grew up in a community, an environment, a culture where I'm from, where I grew up, where it's predominantly women are stay-at-home moms. And it was almost frowned upon to work outside of the home. And not only did I have, aspirations to work, I wanted to grow a massive empire. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, own my own business. So as such, I noticed myself around my circle prior to Vince being in it. I was essentially dumbing myself down to make other people feel more comfortable because I realized that I was the odd duck. I was the weird one. I was the crazy one that wouldn't just like chill or relax or just, watch TV or go shopping during the day or spend my time doing the things that most people in my circle were doing. And I have nothing against those things. It didn't fill my cup. But what filled my cup is similar to what fills Vince's cup, which is growing something bigger than ourselves and making massive amounts of money and not being ashamed of it.
Similar to Liz, you know, my life has been how I explained how I felt, like just being on an island by myself. And so, you know, when you're moving quickly and you want to attack your goals, you kind of feel isolated. And so, and in entrepreneurship, no shape, way, or form, even in a partnership, is lonely, right? Like you still have to forge a path by yourself. It's great to have great people like Liz with you while you're doing it, because it makes the journey easier. But at the end of the day, it's lonely. And so I needed to find more people who were taking business as serious as I was. And I felt like a lot of other people, because a lot of people ask me, you know, why Liz, why stay-at-home mom and not a guy or something. I feel like a lot of guys wouldn't take me as seriously or see me more than what I'm currently am. Mm-hmm. And so they take a lot of things, especially in this community, a lot of things face value. And so I'm an entrepreneur, like I own a restaurant. I feel like a lot of people will just typecast me as a chef and will only see me in that light for that value. And so if I want to grow something secretly, because that's how I like doing things and not being too loud about it, I needed somebody that I could do that with. And that was Liz.
Lucky me.
The first project Liz and I did was the podcast, but I think we try to do these food videos. So I'm not gonna say any names. It ain't come on that great. And so, but it was great bonding time. Because Liz and I, and she tells the story a little different, but to my memory, we weren't that close of friends in the sense of years. Like our friendship happened pretty quickly. And so anytime friendships happen quickly, they probably end quickly because it's just like spur of the moment. And so you don't really know what happens. But during those trial and errors, I think Liz and I friendship got made and built. And we could like realize that we could fail together. And that was sure. part of the foundation growing. And so, yeah.
It was good to see how you handled like flops. I think it's good to know.
They're fucking hilarious. Oh,
but I think it's cool to see how people handle things not working out. And, you know, Vince is much better at things not working out than me. You're so easygoing. You're so laid back. You go with the flow. And I think
why though?
Why?
Because those things are not going to stop me.
Yeah.
Like none of those flops or like it's still going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you don't care what other people think about you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I do to a point. Like I don't want to say I never do because like I think everybody does. But like to a point, there's like a limit where I have a threshold where it's like you can take as much as you want from me and then you're not going to. And then when I leave those boundaries, that's it.
Yeah.
Like there's much I'm willing to play with.
Yeah.
Because that's just how humans are.
Yeah.
But there's like a lot of things where, okay, you know, you're cutting in too much on your perspective that has no value.
Yeah.
From like, in a sense of like what we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. So like failure is the process.
Yeah.
Failure is the sign you're moving forward. The more times you do that, the more you, like it's opening the door of like, okay, this is how we're not going to do a video.
Right.
The scariest thing for me is like when everything's perfect from the start. Because the only thing you can do is fail. Right. And now you're afraid of failing.
That's so true.
Because everything you've done has worked. So now you're going to be afraid of failing. Instead of like, none of this worked. Mm-hmm. we headbutted our ways into this. So like kind of used to it.
Yeah.
Right. And then I think people admire that too in a weird way. If you accept it. If you try to cover it up, you just look like an ass.
Right. And then the next thing we did, which was a huge hit, almost unexpected, was Irie Lemon Eats, the video series.
Yes.
So there were two different things, Irie Lemon Fresh Picked and then Irie Lemon Eats. You don't hear much about Irie Lemon Fresh Picked.
I remember this. Can I interject?
Yes.
So if you're not watching this on the video, you can't tell I'm black, right? And so we don't pick things in the Midwest. You know what I'm saying? We don't go apple picking and blueberry picking. But Liz like
leaf peeping.
Yeah, none of that, right? So Liz like, oh my God, we have to go to this farm and pick. I'm like, it's hot out. I don't know. I want to be.
He had never been blueberry picking.
So Liz really wanted to do it, and also Liz wanted to record it, and like had a fresh pick idea. And so we were out in the blazing sun.
Then we go pick our blueberries. We make recipes with it.
Yeah, And I just remember being out there like, what the fuck am I doing?
I know.
But it was fun though.
But they were delicious blueberries.
That's
the
the best
thing.
blueberries.
And they're warm from the sun. Like they're not in the fridge chilled
Yeah.
with no flavor. They're like
Oh my
hot,
God.
warm blueberries. Come on.
Did we also go to another farm?
A peach farm, and there was no peach picking available.
Yeah.
So to be clear, your first exercise with this black lemon was to take them out picking stuff in the field.
Yep.
It has a kind of
It's called picking fruit. It's a very common agritourism thing to do. It supports local farms. They make a lot of money from it. And, you know, you go out, you pick apples, you pick peaches, you pick blueberries. And then I thought it'd be fun for us to pick this. Well, first I was trying to showcase West Michigan. How this is like my Achilles.
By the way, I'm from here and I live here, guys.
I know, but I just like love what we have here. So, and then I was like, "What? Then we'll go to the kitchen and show what we each would do with blueberries." That was my genius idea. They were the worst recipe videos in the career of the Lemon Bowl. I almost pieced out on Vince at that moment forever.
I didn't make the video though, so
He picked the videographer. He's like, he's great. These would be the best recipe videos.
Hey, you're listening to this? My bad, guy. But like that, those videos were trash.
And he like asked me for more money midway through the confirmed project. He was like, by the way, I'm going to need more. So I think, you know, first of all, I've never had a contractor ask for more money midway through a project. So I figured, well, shoot, midway investment, then this is about to be amazing. That was not the case. These were the worst. We're going to link to it in the show notes here so you can see it.
I don't know if we should link to it. They still live on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to Rich. We're definitely doing those videos on the face of the earth.
Well, let's talk about one of our best projects,
Which
Irie
is?
Lemon Eats. So, guys, I made up for it. My next idea, let's showcase some cool neighborhoods within West Michigan. So we headed to the West Side neighborhood. Remember what you call the West Side, Vince?
Oh yeah, so we as we headed to the West Side neighborhood. So if you guys can't tell, I'm pretty blunt and brash, and I rub a lot of people the right way. I can also rub people the wrong way. And so and this is what I said earlier about, you know, I have a limit. So I was on the West Side, and listen, the West Side used to be like horrible, like in the sense of what it looked like. Cool stuff was going on there. I like to hang out there. I wasn't scared or intimidated, but you know, you guys know the people who be scared and intimidated to hang out on the West Side of Grand Rapids. It's 5 years ago, right? And it's not that bad. But now it's like new development.
Yeah.
Breweries are going in, apartments are going in, new restaurants are going in. And so I just made a comment about what it used to be and what it is now. And I got flamed up about it. Like people are protecting their Grand Rapids, and that was dope to me. But at the same time, like, hey, you guys are all acting like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, who came over here?
Yeah.
None of you guys did. I was over here. I never saw any of you guys over here. So
that was also what was fun is that it is, you know, it even though it had been around a couple years by then, to your point, it was still a relatively new up and coming neighborhood. And I think it's always fun to showcase, you know, you and I are food experts in the community. You own a restaurant. I'm a food blogger. So people come to us all the time. Where should we eat? Where should we go? Hey, I get that DM every single day. So I thought it'd be fun to make a piece of content that people could go to or to share with friends coming to town. And it was super fun to support local restaurants. I mean, this is nothing we were paid to do. And we spent our time going all over and videoing, showcasing the food, tasting the food, sharing all of our favorite breweries, restaurants, bars. It was really fun. And I think it did really well. We've done 3 of them so far. We went to the East Side, and then we did my favorite to my heart, ethnic takeout restaurants, because obviously now we're not dining in. So it's been really fun. And if you guys have other requests of what you'd like to see, we have a really fun idea planned for season 4. Dun, dun, dun.
no. The craziest thing, we've never done an episode on Irie Kitchen.
Never. Want to know why?
Why?
When your restaurant's open, you're working there.
We should do it. We're gonna do a special episode on Island Meats about just Irie Kitchen.
Deal. And then we can go to La Vencedora because they're also open on the weekends.
Yeah.
At what point did it start to click for each of you that this is a real partnership and we need to expand what our vision is and what our aspirations are?
For me, I realized a real partnership, and I'm just frank. When you realize how different we are in our thinking and our approaches, and how you have to figure out how to work within that to get a really great end product. I think a lot of people make partnerships seem like they're so. And don't get me wrong, like, it's not bad or anything. Like, we don't fight, but I'm just saying, like, if you think that all partnerships are like, I don't know, like a Disney movie in a sense, like, it's not like that, right? It's people who two people and now our team who really care about growing this business, and so it's like all these ideas are in the pot. Everyone has a perspective, everyone has an angle, and then you have to compromise sometimes. You have to add value sometimes, and so that's when I feel like the partnership became real outside of us going to a farm and picking berries, or us getting drunk and eating and recording it. Because that's what Irie Lemon to me is all about, right? So like, it's like, oh, this is like a real business, and now there's people involved, and so, you know, and it's great. Which I'll let you go and add some more. You want to?
You know, I guess my first part of following up to what you said, some advice if you are in a partnership or considering a partnership. Something that's been helpful for me because we are so different is I've spent a good amount of time learning about Vince. And that might sound silly, but just like you should do that to your spouse or to your good friends, I think if you are spending a good amount of time with someone, the better you can understand them, how they make decisions, how they think, how they process things, the better it can actually, like, for example, the Enneagram alone, they say saves you like 2 to 3 years of understanding a coworker. So the reason why I feel like our partnership took off so quickly, considering we weren't 10 years in friends, we were strangers. The reason is because of different tools and readings, predominantly Enneagram, Myers-Briggs, that has helped us understand one another and, you know, knowing, case in point, how we work differently. And I think that saves you so much time and frustration and misunderstanding to just know that everybody is different and that's how it's supposed to be. Because if we didn't need anybody, we would never do it. Like, that would not be good. Like, we were made to have, but, you know, we have things we're really good at, strong points, and then we have things that we need help with. And that's great because then we rely on other people to get things done. And I think that that's super important because you can't really do much by yourself. Like, you can do some things, but you can do a lot more with the help of other people. So that's my advice. When I realized that this partnership, well, I got to be honest, like, I knew it was going to be something big from day one. Vince kind of has that way of
Selling beachfront property.
yeah, I don't know if we want to call it trickery, charm.
No, I just know what I'm talking about.
Effects, though. So, and you know, the thing of it is, I also give myself some credit that I've learned to understand that I don't make a lot of bad decisions. So I feel like I jumped quickly with Vince. And don't get me wrong, like, in the beginning, I was a little nervous.
So guys, you're listening in, someone who thinks he knows what he's talking about and someone who never makes bad decisions coming together.
Yeah.
And that kind of mindset, jokingly or not, like, I think is how we actually think about things. And you're not about partnership. You have to have, here's my advice. You have to have similar thinking at the end of the day. And you have to have, like, I'll always take the friendship before the business. A lot of times, you probably don't even realize that, how many times I won't voice something or say something if I know that you really want that. I'm pretty sure you do that.
Yeah.
Vice versa. And I think that, like,
I'm just here for the cash, actually.
And, like,
I'll try to do that more.
And I come from, like, family businesses, so I understand where, like, yo, there just can't be, in every aspect, there can't be two cooks in the kitchen. And we have two cooks in the kitchen all the time. And so the cooks have to be unified. Like, a great sous chef is one with the executive chef.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're the same person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, like, those roles flip
Mm-hmm.
in different aspects of our business. So if you are, again, for partnerships, because the stories are still growing, but, like, if you are into a partnership, like, you have to be able to trust that person and believe in their abilities.
Right.
And don't get into a partnership if you're in a bad spot. That's the number one. Don't do that. I think a lot of people were like, oh, we both suck, so let's do a partnership together.
Is like, you don't have a baby to save your marriage. You don't launch a new business to save. So part of why this works is we already have established successful businesses. So I don't need Irie Lemon income. Vince doesn't need Irie Lemon income. And that's why at the end of the day, we care more about our friendship. Like, we would both lose Irie Lemon before our friendship.
100%.
But we take our interest, so we're going to get both. Just so you know.
We always get both.
Just so you know. We're greedy.
When do you go from, hey, it's fun, you have a new friend that you're doing some fun stuff together, you're probably not making a lot of any money at the beginning, I imagine. When does it go from that to, holy smokes, let's dive into this thing and start growing it? Because let's face it, it's a small percentage of what each of you are doing for both time and revenue wise, right?
So about a year ago, or more than a year ago, we started Irie Lemon, the podcast. And how I like doing things is like you have to wait and see. A lot of people are asking from day one, where are we? What we're trying to do? What's going on? Is like, listen, bro, like let us figure it out, right? Like, and that could just be me never answering anybody. So like when people like quiz me, I'm like what? I don't have the data for you. It just feels right. I know that sounds scary. If I say that, that sounds scary, right? Because like people want to know data, how you're gonna tie it in. It's like I'll connect the dots, right? I'll make it work. So I think that was like the first part of Irie Lemon, and now we're leaning to changing our name to Passion to Profit. And I don't remember exactly how that name came about, but the feeling came about. Liz and I are question askers. We're intuitive, and so for me at least, I feel like a great podcast would be us finding out the behind the scenes of people's passions who've turned into profit. I've done that. Liz has done that. And I think there's millions of people out there who are trying to do that. And there's millions of people who are examples of that. And so if we can get them on this show, talking about their story, them sharing with us little tidbits and little gems, I think that can get you on your journey every day. A little gem for you.
Yeah. Well, first we should clear up, I came up with the name. Rich and I were driving, and Rich and I were like on a long road trip. We were in Wyoming. We were driving to Idaho, and we were crossing the mountains. And I remember like we didn't have our kids, so we had like this uninterrupted long stretch of time to talk names. And I was like determined to come up with. We had decided though. First of all, Vince's original idea was to rebrand the name of the podcast. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember
months prior.
Oh yeah, like after the first episode, I wanted to change the name.
Right. And we just didn't have that name. We didn't know, like you didn't necessarily propose a new name. Like we knew we wanted to change the name, but we didn't really have like the next. So it's an idea that was out there, but it just kind of floated. And then it must have hit me and then when I get an idea, I like to do it right away. I'm like, let's do this. So then we were going back and forth with a few different names. Remember, we were looking up which ones were already taken, which ones weren't. But the bottom line is that we just wanted something that embodied, like you said, what we were all about. And I remember Rich was like, that's such a good name. I remember I called you from the car. And then that was the moment that it was Passion to Profit.
Yeah.
You don't remember any of that,
I don't remember any of that. But
I remember it so vividly because I feel like once I saw it, like, you have an idea and you just know right then and there that's it.
Yeah.
I just knew that was it.
Yeah.
Because what better way to describe? Remember we talked about like behind the curtain, like there were many other ideations of it, but Passion to Profit, I think it's all encompassing and it really does stand for our passion because we are passionate about helping other people do the same thing.
Exactly. That's how we came up with the name. And if you haven't, you should definitely listen to the older Irie Lemon episodes. There's a lot of value in there. But I'm definitely excited for season 2 and the new name, Passion to Profit. Look out for big guests.
How's it feel to say it?
It rolls off the tongue better, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think Irie is pronounced Irie. I heard too. You know what I think
That
it was?
is so true.
Two people kept saying Irie Lemon. That does not sound appealing. That does not sound like a business or something.
Tell people how you pronounce Irie.
It's Irie. Irie.
And why does it come from? What does it mean?
It means good. Literally, it means
Use
good.
it in a sentence.
Everything's Irie. Everything's good. And so, like, that's what it means. So the business name is still, the LLC is still Irie Lemon, and we'll run a lot of our business out of there. The podcast is going to be called Passion to Profit.
Right.
And maybe some other things we might change the Passion to Profit to. But yeah, so I'm excited for the future and to stay tuned to our story. Some things that I think will be coming in the future for our business is, Liz is an idea machine. And so whatever she wants to do will probably happen. So we have a mastermind. So if you hearing this and the seats aren't filled up yet, they probably will be. But you can send us an email you'd like to apply. We might do another class. That's the Irie Lemon Mastermind. We have things like that. Maybe some PDFs, maybe another food series. For me, the door is open. For you?
I think we're going to be helping more and more people. So Right now, we have a 6-figure mastermind. What I would love to do next, and Vince feels the same, is we'd love to create different versions of the mastermind for different levels. So something for someone trying to make their first 50K, something for someone to get their first 6 figures. And I think we need to work on figuring out the format for that. And I'm also just really excited about building up our team. We're getting the right players in place. We're putting them in the right seats in the bus. We just brought on an operations manager to help oversee the day-to-day. And I'm just really wanting to take a moment to step back and make sure our foundation is really built on the back end so that we can deliver to you the best quality podcast. I mean, you've probably heard how much our audio has improved thanks to Kirk, our amazing producer.
Kirk.
And I think that the more we can invest with our team and getting the right people in place to help us, because we are not experts in all the things encompassing running a business. For example, the first year I did all the social media myself. Now we have a great person helping us, Kara. Shout out to her. And again, I think it's just going to be so good to continue growing our team and help creating that culture, which, we have a culture, which is funny because we have our own companies, but now we're coming together to create the Irie Lemon culture. So it really is a whole new living, breathing thing that changes and evolves. So I'm really focused on that and the people behind it.
She said it, guys.
Culturally, you guys are dealing with something as well, which is that you're a female-male partnership, which on its face should not matter. You're both smart, ambitious people. But let's face it, that comes with connotation, or it comes with.
Does it ever?
I mean, so you guys are not lovers, I don't believe.
The word lovers is so funny. Are Rich and I lovers? That is such a weird word. Lovers. Can you imagine saying
no
that?
Lovers, no loving at all.
Can you imagine saying lovers about anyone? We're lovers. No.
I can definitely whip it out.
Oh God, we're lovers.
This is my baby mom. This is my lover.
No, we should talk about this because it's a very common.
So we're definitely not lovers, but we love making money together.
All right. So how do we, because I would like to somehow loop in, literally, Kirk, the first time we hung out, Vince's friend wrote, "You trying to be a stepdad?" And he wasn't kidding. From day one, that has been a thing. No, I will say not so much on my end. More the young guys, right? Remember, for another example, your friend asked you if we were hooking up. And you were like, "No, dude, she's married." He's like, "Okay, cool. So I can go for her. You're not together."
Yeah.
So my point of the matter is,
go ahead.
He was like,
fucking weirdo.
But my point again, I'm just saying it's not just that one person was thinking that. Multiple,
it's cultural,
right?
Okay, so
and why is that though?
Okay.
I don't get it. Does I
got it.
Okay.
All right, guys, there's an elephant in the room. You want to figure out what the fuck's going on between me and Liz? A whole lot of cash, baby. So Liz, let's talk about us coming from 2 different worlds, 2 different ages, 2 different races, 2 different perspectives, and our worlds.
2 different zip codes, everything.
And our worlds coming together.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yes, there was a lot of pushback. I'll just go first. I tend to do those things. I like being first.
Every time.
Yeah, there's a lot of pushback on my side. I think a lot of people, but some context for the audience. No one has ever supported me with anything I do without voicing their worries. I've never gotten from anybody without telling me, I've never gotten, yes, 100%, that's smart. Never.
Really? Never, ever?
Never 100% of the way. So I'm completely used to that's a bad idea, or okay, if you think, right? Or people not really being into it, that's when I know I have a great idea. When people are too excited.
Do people think that was a bad idea for real?
Oh, 100%. Because I don't like talking about me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because my story isn't done. I'm so young. So I want to who knows what's going to happen. So I don't like talking about what I've done or what I'm, I like more just continue to just do it.
Yeah.
And then it piles up.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people were worried about me being veered off because at 19, I opened a restaurant. I just do the math. You know what I'm saying? I was definitely moving fast. I think a lot of people are like, okay, why are you doing this thing now? You're so talented. Why are you partnering with somebody? You don't need anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that. But But I think that's what a lot of people who were concerned thought about. And then I think guys just being guys were like, okay, like, one, why haven't you picked me? And two, like, why are you working with this random person we've never heard about?
Yeah.
And then why is she like posting it? Like, their weird thing was like, you share a lot. So they're like, why is she just putting you on her stories? Like, why is she like, so like, why are you sharing all this? Like, what the fuck's going on? Right. And so, you know, the jokes arise and whatever. And so it's just like, yeah, bro, like she's my, you're my friend at the time. And she's my friend and I think future business partner. And I think a lot of people are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Cause like, and
you guys,
for people who don't know Liz, all you see is an Instagram account at first, right? Like you're not dropping your website. You know what I'm saying? Like no one sees behind the scenes.
mm-hmm.
And I think for a lot of people who've come from my world, not your world, were interested in who you were and what you were about, but they only saw the Instagram account. And I think they thought that I was like in some weird, I was paying you to promote my restaurant or like, you know?
Yeah.
And I think what happened is like every time someone meets you, what do they say? Oh, they say it to your face. Oh, this makes sense.
Yeah. Oh,
last one of my friends or people in my life were like, so that just shows you that they never thought.
Yeah. Every time when your friends met me, it all made sense when they met me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And same thing with your friends.
Right.
They're like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. So like for some perspective and context.
Yeah.
Like everyone, they say it to your face, like, so that shows you I'm not making it. Like they're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
But,
like,
but I'm so used to that though.
So, and the funny thing is like, if something was going on with us, would I be really putting you on my stories all the time? Like, isn't that interesting how people think that way?
Yeah.
I'm just like, can you imagine destroying like your family, your career, your entire reputation?
Yeah.
I just think people are funny because no one in my circle ever said anything like that. Or the other thing too is no one in my circle has ever said to me, you don't need anybody else's help. And I think that is also such a scarcity mindset versus abundance. Because in my mind, some of the best companies are founded by two incredible partners. And the best businesses out there come from large groups of people coming together. I don't know many people doing great things by themselves.
Yeah, I agree. I think more the perspective of them is like when you see somebody, people like to was it vicariously? Is it right?
Live vicariously?
Yeah, through people. And so they're imagining what they would do if they were you. And I'm youthful, I'm young. So that I think a lot of people are just like, this is what I would do if I were you.
Yeah.
But like, well, you're not me.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are like, oh, like you can do anything.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why this?
Yeah. Like that would explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I understand where it's coming from.
Yeah. It's funny.
Oh
it's funny to me.
Yeah.
It's
hilarious to me too. And by the way, there's gonna be like a billion things that I have.
Yeah.
Like that's just like how I view the world. Like, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's what's so cool about you.
So yeah, but it's I don't know. Yeah. So it's
what was the original?
I don't even know what the original question was.
Lovers?
Or definitely, yeah. love making cash.
Yeah, your baby is cash.
Our baby is cash.
We are
cash
not
baby.
lovers, but we love making cash together.
Yeah, like
Never saying the word lovers again.
This Christmas, Merry Christmas, guys. We gave you guys a Christmas present. More Irie Lemon content, more Passionate Profit content. I'm super hyped. I'm super excited. I definitely forgot what Kirk and Liz want me to talk about right now, but that does not matter. Right? We push through. We take our inch. It sounds good, doesn't it?
It does.
All right, guys. Just super. I really don't know.
All right, guys. What Vince is forgetting to say is we hope you all have a wonderful new year. I mean, I'm pretty ready to put 2020 to bed.
Oh, gift cards and gifts. Please DM me. Please. I like Amazon Dior.
Venmo up now too.
Oh, we didn't tell this story.
I hate that.
We didn't tell the story. This is when I became friends with. They say moments.
Yeah.
So Liz is a gift giver. So Liz would just like bring me like apples to the restaurant, fruit.
Yeah.
All the time. And I'm a horrible gift receiver.
Apples doesn't sound cool, but I'd like go to the farmer's.
She'll go to the farmer's market. But obviously, as a receiver, like, yeah, you bought me apples. You know what I'm saying? But like, is the gift that the thought that counts.
A bunch of bananas.
The thought that counts, and me being Vince is like, all right, let me see. I don't like changing people. I just like what's the word?
Making them better.
Making them better.
Themselves.
So I was just like, all right, listen.
Dropping hints is what I mean.
Liz, listen. I'm not gonna stop you from giving gifts, but you're gonna give gifts. Here's a list of things that I like.
Yeah.
And jokingly.
No, he was fully serious. This was year one, and he had them written like detailed. Number one, number two, Kith, Emilion Dior. He went through.
I went through a list jokingly, but being serious with her because like Liz was never gonna stop giving gifts. So we already crossed that bridge. So jokingly but seriously, hey, you're gonna give me a gift.
It's like you took the like moving crate and just like turned her.
Yeah,
got it to the right store.
Right, got it on the right.
Meanwhile, I've never heard of these stores. I go on their websites, sort from low to high. The lowest item's $500. Thanks.
And Liz bought me a ton of that stuff, and at that point, I was like, okay.
Do I know when I decided we were friends?
What?
Like for real friends.
What?
Like when I was okay to say best friend in public. I realized that Vince and I were actual friends when we were cooking together, and two things. We were cooking in Irie Kitchen, and obviously I'm a cook. I'm a really good cook. That's like my main thing. I felt really confident saying I'm an excellent cook. So when I'm in the kitchen cooking with others, usually I don't really want most people like seasoning what I'm working on or like touching things or like trusting them fully, unless it's my children, like to be like taking over of like, is this going to work out?
Yeah.
And I remember Vince, two things. You let me like touch and season the foods you were working on and vice versa. And they both tasted better when we were each helping each other out with them. And that's when I was like, okay, he can actually cook. He can balance flavors. He knows how to season.
Actually cook. Look at my Yelp reviews.
I remember that though.
Yeah.
I remember being like, oh my God, he can actually cook.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
It's an allegory for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Better together.
It's literally on the website, Kirk. Visit it sometime. IrieLemon.com.
Better together.
Better. No, but I do feel like.
Wait, so we're really doing real stories? Because I can't just throw the Kith one in. I sound like an asshole.
No, that's a fantastic story.
Okay.
I mean, this Christmas, it might not be what you're hoping. Just kidding.
You got a great year this year. I expect full presents.
Ditto. GoFundMe.com. Ditto. Where's that sweater that you were supposed to get me for my birthday?
Yo, Kith, by the way. What the fuck, dude?
Did you really get me a sweater?
Yeah.
Or was that just like a joke?
No, I actually
Where
got
is it?
It never came. And they
This
haven't.
H&M frock isn't quite to the level that I should be wearing.
Yo, kids die in China for that. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. See you January 5th. Passion of the Prophet.
Jazz too.
Bye.
Bye.
Going to learn this jazz. Ooh, I even got your girl some jazz yesterday. True.